Hey guys, Loud Guys! Today we are going to watch 10 cultural shocks that foreign tourists get when they visit America. So let's get into the
video.
Today we're going to focus on our 10 things that shock foreign tourists when they come to the US. So let's get started, okay? Alright, so the first thing that's going to shock you when you come to the US are the sizes of the US. Now when I talk about size,
we have seen the food size.
Size of the US, this country is huge.
We've
It's the
also
size
seen
of
the
a
parking
continent,
size.
okay? When you want to get around. But also the sizes of the food you get here, the portion sizes, free refills, oh my god, it's soda without end. But also the size of the people. And that's why I really kind of focus on the size of the US as the first kind of shock. Because I'll meet tourists that are coming to the US and they're like, oh, I'm going to fly into New York, just rent a car in New York, drive down to Miami, and then drive over to Las Vegas to do some gambling. That shouldn't take so long. I mean, it's all in the same country.
No,
but you need
US
to realize
is big.
the US is huge. That drive from New York City to down in Miami is going to take you 18 hours straight of driving. That means no potty breaks, no getting food, no getting gas. 18 hours straight. Oh no, of course, no construction, no traffic jams, nothing like that. I mean, it's literally, 1,300 miles or about 2,000 kilometers just from New York to the tip of Florida. And then if you want to go from Florida to Las Vegas, well, that's another 4,000 kilometers. And it is huge distances when you are traveling the U.S. And that does surprise people when they realize this, wow, this is a lot bigger than traveling around Germany. Well, yeah, Germany, you can take the train around and see everything. Here in the U.S., you just really can't do that. The distances are just too big. And of course, with those sizes, I said the portion sizes here. One of the things I love to see is when people realize
Big
that
Macs,
free refills
in
the U.S. If you're getting soda, not in a can, but a fountain soda, when they pour the soda for you, if you go to a restaurant, most of the time your Coke, your Pepsi, your Mountain Dew, which has super caffeine stuff, your Dr. Pepper, or root beer, which foreigners tend to hate, but we Americans love, it's free refills. You just get more and more and more. So you only pay once and you get all the soda you ever want. Sadly, that free refill stuff doesn't count for alcohol.
Of course
Dang it.
not.
But the thing is that free refills, but also the portion sizes here in the U.S.
Yeah,
kind of explain some of these things. Because you'll see is when you're going to get your McDonald's or whatever in Germany, you get the large there, okay? The large is a half liter.
Yes.
Well, the large in Europe is just a medium here. Because here you can get literally larges that are like this big. It is insane, the portion size. And when you go to the restaurants, sometimes you'll think, man, there's enough on one plate to feed two people. Yes, there probably is. So just know when you're coming to the U.S., you might pack on a few pounds or kilos or stones, whatever measurement you want to use, because there is a lot of really big portion sizes, but there are a lot of really good food around here in the U.S. No, it's not just McDonald's. We go to other places too. And then the third of those size things are the size of the people. Yes, there are a lot of husky, as I like to call myself, husky, fluffy Americans. Yes, we do eat a lot, and no, we don't go around a lot. We're driving a lot and things like that, and so you will see a lot of big people here. But the thing is, not every American is a big, fat slob like me, okay? There's all kinds of shapes and sizes of Americans that you are here.
That's in every
don't just
country.
think every American just goes to McDonald's and gets fattened up. That's just me, okay? So just know that the size of the U.S. will shock you when you look at those things, all right? Now, the second thing that's going to shock you when you come here has to do with those people. It is the people. Look, there's this
American
that,
people.
Americans are just fake friendly. No, Americans really are super friendly.
Super friendly.
No matter where you go, people will try to help you. They'll show you around. They'll say, hey, which restaurants should you go to in this town?
Wow.
What site should we see? Hey, I'm lost. Could you help me find the highway? People are really nice from the U.S. And in different parts. You go to Minnesota, they're insanely friendly. In the South, they're insanely friendly. And that's one thing is people need to understand. Is the U.S., we do help each other out. We do ask you, hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? How can I help you? These are normal things.
And
that
such a beautiful family.
Stores when they come, they're like, I just walked in the store and they're asking me, how can they help? I don't even know what your store has yet. How can you help me when I don't even know what you have?
Yes.
Look, just know that in the U.S., we're all about service. We're going to ask you right away, what can you get? What do you need to drink? What do you want to order? Can I help you with your clothes? What are you looking for?
That is very friendly.
That is just how we work here. Another thing is when you look at the U.S., you're going to have a big mix of people here. There's no one American. You always have these stereotypes of this or this or this of Americans. Look, Americans come in all shapes, all sizes, all religions, all colors, all creeds, all hairnesses, because honestly, the only fake stuff you see in the U.S. are the artificial colorings. Like you're gonna see like the Fantas and the sodas and the cereals. You're like, wow, those colors like glow in the dark. Yes, the artificial coloring thing here, that's the fakeness of the U.S. The friendliness of the people, that's not fake.
That is very good.
So we're in Las Vegas now, and the third thing that's going to shock you when you come to the U.S. is ID, please. I need some identification, please. The fact that people have to have an ID to buy liquor and buy cigarettes in the U.S. Because in the U.S. you have to be 21 to buy alcohol and 18 to buy cigarettes. And basically you have to look like you're 40 to actually buy them without them asking for your ID. So make sure you keep your passport with you. So if you're going to buy stuff, you have that. And it's
Every country has this rule, but nobody follows it.
They might need an ID too. All right, we've left the desert of Vegas. Now we're here on the coast here in Florida. And the fourth thing that's going to shock you when you come to the U.S. is the price is never actually what you pay in the U.S. Now, in Europe and other countries, you already have this VAT, value-added tax, that's already put into the price.
GST
here in
India.
the U.S., we have what we call sales tax, which is added on after you buy the product. So if you go to a McDonald's and you say, oh, I'm going to get a hamburger on the dollar menu, I've got $1, I should be able to buy it. No, that $1, then you got to put the tax on top of it. It can be anywhere from, 7 to 15%. Some states have it, some states don't. It can vary between locations. So that $1 cheeseburger or hamburger can actually cost you $1.10. It gets really frustrating when you think about it because it's not just sales tax that gets added onto a price. If you go out to a restaurant, you also have tipping. And tipping in the U.S. is traditionally between 15 and 20% at a sit-down restaurant. So think about it. You go to a sit-down restaurant, right? So you got a $100 bill. Okay, I got a $100 bill in my hand, and the bill for the meal is $100. I should be fine. Oh, no. That $100, well, you got to add on another 10% because of, well, taxes, right, and the sales tax, and then another 15% on top of that for tipping. So now your $100 bill for a dinner is actually $125. Wow. And I know people might not agree with tipping, but that's how it works in the U.S. They're not paid a great wage, but they make a lot more money on tips, and that's why you get this good service we kind of talk about sometimes. That's where that comes from. Now, the fifth thing we have that shocks people is when you come here, you think, oh, the U.S. is so developed, they've got all this stuff here, they must have good public transportation. Good and public transportation in the U.S. do not go together. There are some cities that have decent public transportation.
I have seen subways
Chicago,
in a lot
New
in
York,
movies.
Boston, big cities, you probably can get some decent public transportation within the city. But a lot of places out there, there's either no public transportation or very limited transportation or public transportation that a tourist would not want to ride on. I would say that does get kind of frustrating. We're like, wait, you've got all this stuff, but you know what? You gotta drive everywhere. Anyway, the sixth thing that's gonna shock you when you come here are the toilets, and specifically the public toilets in the U.S. Look, I know I talk about toilets a lot on my videos, and actually one of our fans made a video of just me saying toilet, toilet, toilet in all these different places. But I'll be honest, when you come to the U.S., public toilets are free. There's tons of public toilets, and restaurants have them free for everybody. But the thing is, public toilets in the U.S. are usually kind of gross. But what I think is funny is when you look at toilets in the U.S., I get a lot of friends of mine coming from around the world. They're like, oh my God, your toilet has so much water in it. And yes, the U.S. toilets do use a lot of water. Now, they're starting to get the lower water content toilets, but there are a lot there. So you're kind of like, oh my God, am I supposed to wash my feet in the toilet here? Or do I go to the bathroom in it? It's kind of crazy. And probably another toilet thing that shocks people is when you go to a public place and they have toilets, there's so much space between the doors. Like you can literally look at the bottom and see who's in there doing their business, what business they're doing, what book they might be reading, okay? Because you can look through the side of it, and then underneath there's like this
not good.
Underneath. So you can see, are there feet there?
But in India that will not work.
Everything. So those public toilets really are quite public when you are there, and that does kind of shock people when you are there. But what is cool is you do have the toilets all over the place. They are free everywhere around the U.S., so that is a really cool thing. So we've moved from the sunny coast of Florida to the sunny coast or banks of the muddy Mississippi River. And the next shock we have for you coming to the U.S. are the Americanisms when you come here.
Americanisms.
There are things that are typical USA, and part of that is USA, USA. Yes, one of the Americanisms here is the patriotism in the U.S. You will see the flag flying all over the place. And the people, they love America. You will see that. And some of the kind of quirky things about Americans when you do come here, you will see. And that's just America in general. You know, I talked about the toilets. Well, one of the things about the toilets is by the toilets, you always see this kind of silver box next to it, and people are bending over at it. You're like, what's going on here? It's a water fountain, okay? We like to give away free stuff here in the U.S., whether it's free water or free bread at a restaurant, or go to a Mexican restaurant, you have chips and salsas until you vomit, and you don't have to pay for it. I mean, there are so many Americanism little things when you're here with the flag. How much we love it? You'll have American flag t-shirts. Heck, you can have American flag undies.
Oh, that is not allowed in India.
You know, we joke about, Americans and their fast food. Well, literally, there is fast food all over the place, and yes, we do have McDonald's everywhere, but we've got more than McDonald's. You've got Culver's in the Midwest. You've got In-N-Out Burger on the West Coast. What a Burger in Texas. Shake Shack in New York. And you have all these fast food places all over the place with their super huge drinks. The large holds 1 liter. I believe that's what you people call liters, okay?
That is too much.
And liters. Well, there's a whole thing right there the Americans don't get. Do you know the only way Americans know the metric system is because of our soda. This is a 2 liter of Pepsi. This is a 2 liter of Coke. And you know what? That's how we know liters here. It's by our soda sizes, okay? Otherwise, we use gallons, we use feet, we use inches, we use miles. That's how they do it here. And a lot of tourists have a hard time with that when they're trying to figure out.
Yes, it is difficult.
Well, how much is a gallon? A gallon is about 4 liters, just so you know. Okay, it's like 2 of these out there. Oh, in the U.S., how you get great quantity discounts. See this Coke? This was $1. See this Pepsi? This was $1 at Walmart. Love you, Walmart. And let's not forget about the Walmarts out there. 24-hour shopping.
Ooh,
think about it.
Wow.
Yesterday, my oldest son, spilled ketchup all over himself, crashed his skateboard, and ripped up all his clothes, and so he really had nothing left for today. So guess what I did at 2 o'clock this morning? I went to Walmart and got some Coke and Pepsi, and I got them closed at 2 a.m. And we love it when we come here, and that's why tourists love it when they come here. From the friendly people to the 24-hour shopping to the cheap soda. Hey, I know you can drive those 20 hours from Florida to Illinois if you have a couple of these with you. Woo-hoo, go a little crazy. But that's the thing is there are these really fun Americanisms when you do come here, and that's one of the things. All you watching, if you have those funny Americanisms, please put in the comment section below, because we're going to make more videos on funny little American things when you are here. But anyway, I guess I'll go into the next kind of shocking thing when you come to the U.S. And our 8th shocking thing, we're going to go back to that metric system that we only understand, the soda. It goes into the driving. Okay?
Driving in the USA.
People get shocked about the driving. And I know I talked about how there's a lack of public transport and you have to drive when you are here. But when you do drive when you're here, you will be shocked how big the roads are, how big the cars are.
But that is nice.
Also, they're all automatic, okay? If you can find a stick shift, good luck. And yes, you do miles per hour here. Not kilometers per hour, miles per hour. And the speed limits, they change all over the place. And you never know when. It's like, oh, it just changed. And the cops get you. Oh, there's a shocking thing. You know, some countries, they just have the camera that takes pictures when you're going too fast. We have that some places in the U.S. But most of the time, you have the cops sitting on the side of the road with their radar guns watching you. Now, oh, you've gone too fast. And the sirens come on and they drive down and pull you over. It is quite the American experience to be pulled over for speeding, so don't speed when you're here. And there are some other little things that are different. Here in the U.S., you can take a right turn on a red light. So if you're sitting there and you can take a right, you got your blinker on, and people are honking at you, it's because they want you to take a right. Now, make sure you look to make sure the traffic is coming, but you can take a right on red. And the thing is, we Americans love our cars. I mean, it's the most liberating thing when you're 16 years old. 16 years old, you can get your driver's license here. And so
in India, it is 18.
16, license to drive, license to live. Oh, yeah. And that's part of the U.S. culture. We eat in our cars. We drink in our cars. Soda. Don't drink and drive. The cops will throw you in jail. They don't care what country you're from. You will go to jail. Don't drink and drive, but drink your liters of Coke and Pepsi. So the 9th thing that's going to shock you when you come here to the U.S. Oh, we're here in Boston, kind of the heart of history of the U.S. and the American Revolution. And the 9th thing that's going to shock you when you come to the U.S. is you will see a lot of homogeneity, i.e. that means like everything's kind of very similar everywhere you go, but also you will see different cultures and history in the U.S. We get tons of comments saying, oh, the U.S., there's no culture there, it's just McDonald's, and there's no history there, it's too young. No, there is history and there is culture here, but on the other side of it, there is a lot of homogeneity. So when you go travel around, you see the same stores. You'll see, oh look, there's an Old Navy. Oh look, there's a Sephora, and you'll see the same stores again and again. And it gets kind of repetitive, especially when you're going into the suburbs and kind of
big
newer
buildings
cities and newer
and
towns.
everything.
It really looks like, I mean, I can't tell the difference between going to one city in one part of the country versus another when you're doing that shopping experience or hotels and things like that. So it does get kind of shocking when you're like, what town am I in? It seems the same. But having said that, there are distinct cultures and regions here in the U.S. and that does shock people because you come here to the Northeast, to New England, you know, they have definite different food. You know, you gotta have the clam chowder and they have the, what they call the the New England Shield, where they don't really talk to the people, but they're friendly once you get to know them. Or you got the South, where you got that Southern hospitality where they feed you for days and give you tons of food and ask you how you're doing and all kinds of stuff. Or you got the kind of like the cool, kooky West Coast that's out there. There's definitely different cultures here in the U.S. and it does shock people when they drive around and realize, yes, a lot of the stuff looks the same, but the people are different in different parts of the country. So just know that, yes, this homogeneity will shock you, but there are different cultures out there because, yes, there is fantastic history here in Boston and great museums around the U.S. The Getty in L.A., the Art Institute of Chicago, the Met in New York. I mean, you can have great history, you can have great art, you can have great culture when you are here because this is a big melting pot of the world. And the 10th thing that's going to shock you when you come to the U.S. are the hotels. Look, you can actually get a good medium priced or even lower priced hotel here in the US. There are tons of hotel chains here, you know, Hampton Inns and Holiday Inns and all these kind of places, and it's very standardized, okay? If you get a double room, you can probably put 4 people in there or 40 people in there because the rooms are a lot bigger. When you get 2 double beds, you get a double room, it'll have 2 beds, i.e. 2 big beds. There's no 2 single beds pushed together like in Europe.
Nice.
So you have all this extra space when you are there. Now, one of the things that kind of shocks people when they go do the hotels here in the U.S. is it's kind of like the relatively cheaper the hotel is, the more stuff they give you. You go to a cheap chain hotel or a medium priced chain hotel like a Hampton Inn or something like that, and you get free Wi-Fi, you get a free breakfast, like as much breakfast as you want. You know, they're gonna have a pool, all kinds of really cool stuff. No resort fees. Oh my God. And then if you go to like an expensive, nice hotel,
you have to pay for everything.
You get to pay for that. Oh, you want internet? Oh, that's $19 a day. You're like, what? Oh, the pool? Oh, if you want to use the pool and do the fun stuff, you need to do the resort fees and pay extra. You're like, wait, I'm paying triple the price for a nice hotel and I actually get less amenities when I go there. It kind of boggles your mind. So when you come here, just know that you can actually stay in some of these chain hotels and it's not
is
a
considered
problem
a bad luck
whatsoever. Okay? Read the reviews about them, but you know if you get a one Holiday Inn Express, it's pretty much the same throughout the country. Remember that homogeneity of number 9? That really does come out in the hotels. But they are clean, they are safe, and there is a lot of price options out there. So just know, if you want a lot of the free stuff, actually you go to the cheaper ones versus the more expensive ones who have better locations and kind of cooler rooms maybe, but make you pay for a lot of things. So it's kind of shocking. Like, wait, I get less for more or more for less? Yes, I know, the US with our stuff, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, those are our 10 kind of fun things that might shock tourists.
These were some big culture shocks, and I would say the friendly thing is a very good thing because whenever you go to a different country, you need those friendly people to hang around with, and that is very nice.
Yeah, one of the thing maybe I guess he has missed is that what I found like very shocking is that we have seen like the videos of the malls and they have varieties of candies and chocolates because they have like very unique thing, you know, different types of cheeses and a lot of stuff they have, and I found that very shocking.
He said everything is big and huge in America. So actually that is. So how do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share and
subscribe.
Bye.